What is up, folks at home? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about lure innovation. We're talking about the hover rig. This is a new innovative lure design from Ebb and Flow Outdoors. Dave has put together a bait that can transform the way you fish. So let's get underwater. Let's check out this hover rig. Let's catch some fish. Going on the hover. Right now, Ebb and Flow has the hover rig available in two sizes. You have the 1/16 ounce and the 3/32. Both of those are on a 3/0 hook. It's a ×2X hook, meaning that it's a strong hook with a 60-degree line bend on it. And this bait is literally made and designed to make this bait slow fall through the column. Now, this is going to be a game changer in the way that you do a lot of different things. Now, you guys know at the channel, I am a big fan of fishing baits in different ways. When you throw a 16th or a 32nd ounce hover rig on a Gee Crack Bellows Gill, the Elastomer 3.5 inch, this thing is gonna hover in the water. If you look at the underwater, this bait hits the water, it's got that air pocket trapped, it literally hovers and then sinks very, very, very slowly down to the bottom, where it then will sit on the end of the hook, tail up, and look like a bluegill that is nose down on the bottom. This is a deadly, deadly combination when bass are shallow. And what we're talking about here is a way to pin this bait to the hook, one, but two, a way to present this bait in a way that stops it from encountering muck on the bottom, from doing different things, and really just puts that bait in the fish's face. It hovers there and stops, right? And that's something that I've never seen a bait been able to do. And then that slow fall down, literally where that bait is sitting on the bottom, this is a deadly rig. Bed fishing, it's gonna kill. When fish are around rocks and wood, pitching this in there and letting it slow fall down and then sit there and quiver back and forth. Dead sticking this has a whole new meaning. Also, when you have moss, vegetation, junk on the bottom, this is going to be a way to keep those baits free of it. So the number one way that I'm gonna fish this bait on a still presentation is that Elastomer 3.5 inch Bellows Gill. And if you know me, you know I love Gee Crack, you know I love the Bellows Gill, you know I turned to that bait when I couldn't get bites last year. It's something that I have a ton of confidence in. Looking at the underwater on this bait, it's super duper clean, right? Sits as it should, looks really, really, really nice. Now, the other way that I have been throwing this bait is throwing that 3/32 ounce on the Fluke. Now, when I'm throwing this bait on a Fluke, I am looking to get this Fluke a little bit deeper. If you watch the channel, if you watch that video where I caught 40 fish on Chapman Lake the other day, you know I love throwing a weightless rigged nose-hooked Fluke. That is my favorite way to throw a Fluke. But when I want that Fluke to get a little bit deeper, when those fish won't come up and get it as far, I'm gonna throw it on the hover rig. And the hover rig simply brings it further down into the water column. Think of it as fishing a deep jerk bait. This is a good way to keep the action of the bait the same, but move it deeper in the water column. It's got that erratic darting and flowing motion on the hover rig. It looks super good. You can throw this all day. You can catch 100 fish on this rig and it's not going to back down on you. It's a great way to contact fish in a different way with a different look. And that 2X hook is not gonna bend out on those bigger fish. And I've caught some big fish on a Fluke. Now, the third way that I'm gonna fish this bait is that Berkeley Gilly. And the Gilly gets a lot of hate, but I love the Gilly. So let's look how easy this is to rig. You see those hook keepers way down the hook right there? Basically, I'm gonna lay this hook where I know it's coming out. It's coming out right about that middle part of that fin. And what I'm gonna do is thread this bait on there, like this, thread it way down in there. It's got those lines to make sure you're rigging it straight. And then I'm gonna push it out behind that middle dorsal fin, just about like that. Then I'm gonna push that big hook keeper into that bait and slide it down and bada bing, bada boom, you have a beautifully rigged, side-hooked, profiled bluegill. And what this is going to do is it's going to slow fall and look like a dying bluegill going to the bottom. This bait is an absolute killer when bass are dialed in on bluegill. You can pull it up, it's going to swim frantically, and then it's going to slow fall just like a dying bluegill would. And the advantage that you get with a bait like that is it's presenting that bait in a way that 90% of people are not. That's the beauty of the hover rig. A slow fall in their face, you're presenting that bait in a way that 90% of people are not. Now, another bait that pairs well with the hover rig is the 6th Sense Panorama, and this is the 3.5 and 4.5 inch Panorama. Dave is working on a big hover rig for snook. That big hover rig for snook is going to be a killer free lining a 6-inch Panorama out there deep for big fish. It's gonna fall slow, it's going to circle around, it's going to be able to be fished like a spook on the top, all the way down like a twitch bait underwater, and then it's going to be bottom fishable too. And this is a unique way to present a unique lure, and it pegs in there nicely. Even though this bait is super narrow, you can see that hookup right there. It looks really nice, and this is a way that I'm gonna fish this bait for success. Now, there are a lot of different ways to fish things. I really enjoy fishing this bait on that new TRDs, the fat TRD. It hooks up and it gives a nice slow glide. That dying profile on the bottom looks super duper clean. It's just a different way of presenting that TRD. Instead of having it stand up, it's gonna slide like a sled on the bottom, look really good to your average user, but to guys who are trying to differentiate the lures that they are throwing, it's going to look super duper clean, and it's a different way of presenting it. With that bellows gill, it's a unique way to present a unique bait that most guys aren't gonna do. Most guys are gonna Texas rig that bait and it's gonna fall on a heavy weight and stand up on the bottom. If you throw it on a hover rig, you get a whole different action out of that bait. The other thing that I like to throw it on is a straight up stick worm. We have the Strike King Ocho right here. I picked the Ocho because it's heavy, and this is what I call stupid worming. There's no reason why stupid worming makes sense. That's why I call it stupid worming. But with stupid worming, I'm literally putting a worm on the bottom and I'm slowly bringing it back to the boat. I like to do it with a black zoom worm and a jig head. I like to do it with the hover rig and the Ocho. It's just a different way to present baits that fish don't see. Plus, this is a good way to get a heavy bait like a Cinco or an Ocho deeper in the column faster. And it's really going to be advantageous to you when you're presenting lures in different ways. Already know the hover rig's gonna help me skipping docks. Already know the hover rig's really going to help me in that mid-level range where you don't necessarily wanna fish weightless, but you don't wanna fish a Texas rig. It's really a bait that can be used in a very, very, very different array of situations, and it's a bait that you can fish in a lot of different places in place of a bait that fish would see a lot. We love innovation. We love the way that Ebb and Flow really has thought about bait delivery and how that bait is going to look in the water. Guys, if you like what's going on the channel right now, give us a like, give us a subscribe. If you know a bait maker out there and you think that we should feature their baits, let us know in the comment section who they are so we can reach out to them and work something out so we can show you guys more baits, more stuff underwater, help you become better anglers, help us become better anglers. We want this channel to help you guys out as much as possible. So let us know in the comments what you want to see in the upcoming videos. Give us a like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.